Oh yeah, next
is
week.
Rule the Roost.
Yes. So that's
so excited about that. It's a 3-day public retreat, and we're changing things up a little here for our public retreats in 2023, just because we can, right? And we're calling it Rule the Roost because a staff member will rule the roost each time there is a retreat when we have one of these. And so the first one is next week, the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and I get first dibs at ruling the roost.
How's that fair, Stacey?
Because I'm the rooster. I'm the rooster.
I guess.
If Stacey wants to come and attend, she certainly can attend. She'll get to rule the roost someday. You'll get to rule the roost.
I know. I have my day. I'm the second one in line, I guess.
Yes, I think so. I think you're getting April.
Yeah.
And so it really is still the same kind of retreat we've always had.
It's a public retreat, open to anyone. And I'm just going to say right now, and Stacey's kind of behind the camera here. She could pop on if she wants to, but absolutely come. Stacey's been coming to some of them as a retreater. And invite a friend and come. It does not have to be sewing. It can be anything creative, or you can just come and sit and talk.
Knitting, crocheting. We see beading, rug hooking, wool applique,
card making.
Card making. Oh yeah, Elizabeth was doing those just phenomenal cutout cards. And the idea is that when you dedicate time to getting a project done, it feels so good. We're going to be crowing like roosters, and it's going to be awesome, right? And so we need that.
Yes.
As much as you need that. So I am looking forward to 3 days. I will be upstairs all 3 days, and I'm going to be working on this. So my ultimate goal was not really to be an overachiever, just knowing that between now and then,
she wanted to be
I wanted to be organized and ready so that I could be busy sewing that day.
Which there is very much true to that. For instance, Dayflower. I have a Dayflower cut out ready for when I have a moment to start doing it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And so anyway, so the Rule of the Roost. And I on the website, you've put the links up. It is recommended that you prepay and purchase the days that you want to come. There's no rules. There's some questions on there so that you can answer some things. Like, for example, if you could only come Tuesday, then come Tuesday. Wednesday, and I'm referring to it as the main day. The only reason it gets the main day tag is we're providing lunch that day.
Ooh,
yes.
Yum.
And I get to pick the menu, just like when you're ruling the roost, you'll get to pick the menu, that kind of thing. And so the other days, again, so there's no combination that is not possible.
Exactly.
If you can come Tuesday and Thursday and can't come on Wednesday, then great. Come Tuesday and Thursday.
But certainly we'd love a full house, a full coop.
A full coop. Oh, yes.
On Wednesday to come and have some fun
then
with it.
the rooster would be strutting and
my
all
gosh.
her chicks.
Yeah, look. Okay, let's get that on video right now. Let's fill the roost so that the rooster can strut.
There you go.
Or the hen can strut around.
So anyway, I also think I'm organized on my cutting. And it'll be interesting because, of course, the next Thursday, I will have to come down and help with the video, or we'll do it early or something like that. But then I'll be able to talk about more of the stuff that I've been piecing, right?
Exactly.
So it'll be perfect.
And so with that, I comment on the Rule the Roost thing. Obviously, we'd love to have you come, but I think, Heidi, you may, as the Rule the Roost staff member, even have some little surprises.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
so another reason to consider some of those things. So hope you'll join us. But we will get back to some cutting tips and tricks.
Cutting tips.
Ours.
Okay.
Before we do that though, so yesterday we got so excited, and we did a live yesterday, and we left off one of the most
adorable
things that we
patterns.
are in love with. And if you watched yesterday, Farm Babies is the unboxing we did. This has nothing to do with Farm Babies. It's just coincidental.
A brand new pattern that came in. And this particular designer is known for her paper pieced projects. She does all sorts of. The girls have done a penguin quilt. I know she does a bear quilt. This one is just adorable. You want it one more time. There's a couple different variations on the back, but it is so adorable. Now, I'm gonna just say right now, it is not a cheap pattern.
No.
But it will be so worth having everything that you need to make these blocks. And every block comes in 2 sizes, so you get both the sizes for that. And there are blocks that are pieced using all of the blocks are pieced using conventional patchwork techniques. So I think just a lot of great stuff about that and different combinations that we could put up.
So you can go back and watch our Farm Babies unboxing from
That's
yesterday
right.
if you want to. It's super cute, but we failed and,
And
we
if
thought
you
we'd jump on and
if you don't know where to find it, go to our website, go over to the tab that says live shopping, and literally you're going to find that video right there.
So let's go into talking about some things with cutting, and we're going to actually demonstrate a couple different ideas that we have with this. So I'm not an overachiever at this point. Sometimes I really am, but today I'm not.
You were busy finishing another quilt.
I was. But background fabric is where I'm choosing to start, and I will be showing you cutting with the Stripology XL ruler on your background fabric. Heidi, you're going to step into some of the cutting of
just a little fine tuning of a little unique part of this project that is cutting. So yes, we'll give you a little tip on that. And yesterday I mentioned that Stripology rulers were on back order. Guess what? I literally got off the video, an email came, and they're being shipped. So we will have XL rulers next week, and so they'll be back in stock.
So we're going to start with the XL ruler, and I'm going to come around the table. I think we're going to try this.
Yep,
so.
And I'm going to show, if you haven't used a Stripology ruler, there are, I'm going to try to get up here so you can see, there are slots where you put your rotary cutter, and then if you can kind of see, there is places to put the rotary cutter and be able to literally cut right through the different slots here, so that you are able also to cut multiple times. And I guess I have it backwards. Let me show it this way. And so you can see here on the bottom, there are lots of markings to make it easy. So like if you're cutting 2.5-inch strips, you use the square here, and you cut here at 2.5, here at 5, and it moves along very, very quickly. So it's a ruler. Gudrun Erla of GE Designs is the designer that is behind these rulers, and the amount of patterns and books that she provides I'll say support of using it is wonderful. So
So we're going to kind of walk through this, and Heidi and I are going to try to work together, tag teaming. If you have questions as we're going or want to see something again, make sure to make that comment. So I'm going to lower this down here. I'm using the Stripology ruler to cut. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to start with my my background fabrics and what I need to cut with that. But I want to kind of show you a couple things with it. And I'm going to start with the sashing. So when I'm going to cut, here's my, as if it just came off the bolt, and I'm going to flip it over the other way.
Okay.
So we're going this way.
Yep.
And we'll try to not interfere too much with our, so I'm going to take this and fold it back. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to reach across without. So all I've done is taken the fold, and I'm folding it back to just above the edge on my salvage edge side. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Stripology ruler and lay it down. I'm now using my fold as a straight line to get straight on my fabric.
You are not using the lines on the mat.
Right. The lines on the mat at this point mean nothing to me. In fact, I can turn it sideways so you don't even get confused by that. So as I come in here, I'm just choosing any one of these lines that down here at the bottom, there's the slots, which Heidi kind of talked about, that your rotary cutter is going to go in. I just need that to be open so I can get my fabric in there. That's all I really need to do. You'll also notice, hopefully you can see, I have a little bit of fabric on the other side of the zero. I call it zeroing it out. So this is going to become my straight edge, because I want to make sure I can have all those layers, right, and get that nice straight line. So I'm going to come back to my pattern here, and it tells me if I'm making the first one, how many strips I need to cut. One 7.5 by 42-inch strip. So I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm going to cut one. I'm going to zero it out first. And I always, again, encourage you to read the entire directions.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, absolutely, because it can happen so fast that you end up making a mistake.
So I've zeroed it out. I'm not doing anything with that. I'm going to come over to 7.5, which is marked here.
Yep, because one of the beauties of cutting with a stripology ruler versus a traditional ruler is that you do not have to move your fabric and turn it around. So that is one of the big benefits of using a stripology ruler.
And so at this point, I need one for the nap size. I need one 7.5-inch strip. So I'm going to slide this over. Let's try not to knock on it. And now I'm going to pull this away, and there you see that nice straight edge. I'm still not going to move this because it tells me I need to cut those 7.5-inch strips, cut them into 4.5 by 7.5.
And 6 of them I think you need.
Yep, 6 of them. So same thing. Now I'm just turning my ruler, and I'm going to, let's see, try to go this way. I got it. Normally I wouldn't move my fabric, but today I
Yes,
am.
absolutely, because
So
you're
that you can
make
see
it
better.
camera appropriate here.
Yes. So that's the beauty
We need a
of
spinning
it.
wheel.
We do. We need a spinning camera. Same thing here. I'm coming back in. This is my folded edge. Now I'm putting this fold where my selvage is. Can you see that layer? That is going to be on my 0, just on the other side of my 0. So I'm just cutting that little fold off, basically snipping it on the side. And so I'm using the straight lines I just cut.
Yep,
To
making
line
it
it up.
straight.
So then I'm going to come in and make sure I did that fabric is hard to see through there. So there's my 0. And remember, I needed 6 4.5 by 7.5. If you're calculating right now, you're going to know I have a lot of fabric left from that because I only need 6 of them, because in my layer right here, I already have 4. So I'm going to come over, and it's 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. There's 4. So now I could choose, do I want to open it up and cut one more? Do I want to cut extra? And that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay?
and some people, this is where it all depends on your frugalness, your desire to have extra pieces, and sometimes it is just as easy to have the 2 extra squares than it is to try to open it up and then realign it again.
And so I'm going to choose to do another one before I move it. So I was at 4.5. So 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9.
Good old quilter's math.
1, 2, 3, 4.5, 9. Come over. Cut my 9. So now I know I have extra, but that's okay. There's perfect, nice little rectangles. Okay. I'm going to do one more demonstration for you too, because the next one is that's okay. I think we're hanging in there.
Yep,
I do think
you're doing
that
good.
We know that we get a lot of questions about the stripology ruler, and that people are always learning. So certainly as you get going with a stripology ruler, if you have questions, by all means, we're happy to help you or demonstrate a little bit here, which is what we're trying to do. So I'm going to come back in here. I have my fold. I've already done that. I'm just kind of straighten it out, right? I'm going to put my ruler back on top. I should already have my straight edge because I probably wouldn't have moved it, but I could always zero it out again if I needed to, which I think I'll just show you one more time because it's only going to take me. So I'm going to zero it out. And now my next one, I need 5 3-inch strips. So 1, 2, and do you notice, Heidi, I don't know if you can tell, when I'm putting it in, I have a slight angle before and then bring it up.
Yep.
So I'm opening the blade, sliding it in, opening it up.
Does it make a difference
3,
whether you use a 45 or a 60 millimeter blade?
4, and
The answer 5.
Okay.
And the answer of that would be no. You could use either. Doesn't matter if your handle is ergonomic or straight. Both of them work just fine on the stripology.
Now, what I want you to notice here, when I pick it up and turn it, is I'm actually beyond my grooves. So in this particular case, then I would
Move one over.
move one over, check it again, and I'm trying to walk you through kind of like I just would always do it at home. So now I can get the groove at the bottom to get my blade in, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to use my 2 straight edges that I just cut to line it up, and we'll see if I can step to the other side and do this.
Yes. Did you pull off your
Oh,
little
I didn't
strip?
pull off my little strip.
Since I was thinking
There
that
we
you
go.
did. There you go.
Okay, so now it's in there, and I'm going to step around onto the other side here
You bet.
because I need it. 3. So now I'm going to zero it out, and this time I need it 7.5 inches. So come over to my 7.5 inch. Okay, I'm going to lift it up. There's my little squared off pieces. Don't need them. So there's 4 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16. And I didn't need that many, but
It's all right.
it's all right. You see the idea of
And
what
you
we're
could
doing.
actually then
Yep.
cut down
I could
some of those
subcut
to your
those
three
into
into your
50.
3-inch
Yep.
squares.
Yep. And the same thing here while we're doing it. Since those are laying there, same thing, I could go back in, or I could have cut it from the, without lifting it up, come back in and cut the 3-inch squares from there.
Yep.
Yep, because you're subcutting some of it
Absolutely.
down there. So there's all different sorts, but it's just to give you the idea of how to do.
Absolutely. You can
That.
absolutely you can work with that in several different ways.
Yep.
It works very, very well.
So a quick view of what it was. Of course, when I was at home, things would be a little bit different, but questions or concerns or comments about any of that, again, feel free to give us a call there. And we're just kind of showing you a quick demonstration of it, of how to do
I
it.
will say that I'll say the more bulk you have to create, like if you have to cut, so like if you are cutting a quilt that has hundreds of pieces, the faster you get it done on a stripology. It really does.
Yep.
It
and
really
the other
does.
thing, while we're talking about that, if you do not have a stripology ruler,
Yes, you can use.
you can still use your regular ruler. We have Creative Grids.
No, that one is Quilter
Quilter
Select.
And I can still do the same thing, right?
It's just you're moving your
I'm
ruler.
Just moving my ruler. So it's, again, just the accuracy and saving time with not having to move it
Yep.
each time.
Oh yes, and what's that thing you've got on top of the ruler there?
Oh,
That's
and this is our gypsy gripper.
gypsy gripper. To help,
Love
like if you're
this.
working with a bigger ruler, just to grab it and to be able to put pressure down on it at all times.
Yep. And the
And-
other thing is safety.
Absolutely, also
that
for
up there.
safety. And did you, let's see. So we have 3 different sizes of stripology rulers. So just to make sure you understand that there is a mini. There is the squared.
And for those people that, as you see, I'm opening the very frugal people, as I'm opening this up, you're like, oh, you could have used that for other. Yes, I can still use this to cut down other ones. I can use it
Yes.
to cut 2.5
Yeah.
inch strips out of. But again, even if I'm going to use these, I wouldn't layer them like that. I can cut these down and I'm still going to save time, in my opinion, using the stripology versus the individual.
Absolutely.
There's certainly a place for
Yep.
both of them.
So I put all the rulers up there and the gypsy gripper. I see there's not an image with the gypsy gripper, so I don't know. So anyway,
We'll check that out.
You have to check that out.
That's what it looks like.
But you know what it looks like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so, are there other things about the way you're cutting your project, Jamie, that we should share with?
Yeah, I think so. So if you, let me throw some of this fabric to the side. If you were following along last week, and I mentioned it earlier that I was using some cuddle. So a couple things to consider if you're using, like me, thinking outside the box and doing something different, and not even just this project in general. If piecing, you can piece with Shannon Cuddle fabrics. We've seen it before. We've seen quilts done with it. Pinning that becomes super important. But Cuddle does have a stretch. One way, that one's pretty tight, and the stretch is big on this one. I don't know if you can see that. So one thing I do want to consider as I'm doing this is which direction my stretch is going, okay? So on a hat, if I'm using the Cuddle on a stripe right there, like the long stripe, if I keep my stretch going the long way, or the way the fabric stretches the most, when I'm piecing it together, what's going to happen? It's more likely to stretch, right? So I want to make sure I keep the one that doesn't stretch, and I don't know, maybe if I turn around, as my width across, so that when I'm sewing across, I'm keeping the least amount of stretch possible. Does that make sense? Again, if you're watching and it doesn't make sense, you ask us, but paying attention to some of that, the stretch, especially in using the cuddle.
Yes.
Okay. The second thing that I would give a point out to is if you have a directional fabric. Now, this particular one, it is arrows, so they can go up and down. But to me, mostly they would probably run sideways.
Yep. And there is one block, and I'm gonna hold it up here. It's this block right there. Can you see that in there, Stacy?
Yeah.
That block, I will say, is I think where people get, I'll say, caught in that the 7.5 inches is this direction,
The width of the hat.
the width, and the 6.5 is this way. So if you, depending on how you're cutting your fabric, all of a sudden your arrows could be going up and down. Or I know as Marilyn had, her sheep were taking a nap.
Yes, yeah.
And it was still darn cute.
Oh, it was.
You know, and so some of those things you can make, but that is something to keep in mind. I certainly know that, like when you're fussy cutting, I did a few things like that too. Let me see if I can find the one hat that I had.
Those are just a couple cautions. Again, looking at your pattern, making sure that you're understanding that before you do. Fussy cutting, maybe somebody hasn't heard that expression, Heidi.
Oh, yes. And so fussy cutting is when you are very particular about where you're putting your ruler so that you can get a specific shape out. So you might remember that last week when I was showing my fabric, I had, it's a Mary Englebright pattern of fabric that had a border in it. And so I wanted to be able to cut those borders so that I could, know that they would look like they were, I'll say, the same direction and all of that kind of stuff. And so this is where, do you have the mini by chance handy? Did we grab the mini?
No, I'll grab one.
It's just because the mini is smaller. I did not end up, it's still, you still got to watch because of the size. I think that one is like 6.5. I could also use the square if I had to.
Yeah.
But the, let me just at least show, is that it is so nice to be able to lay the ruler over top the fabric and center it, line it up, see let's go this way, to see where it's going to be. And then I was able to then cut on the ends very nicely. And then I simply picked up my ruler, rotated it, and then cut again the direction and the size that I needed to. So having a clear ruler like this makes it so much easier. And I found this to be easier at that point than this one, just because I still couldn't cut. I could measure, but I couldn't cut easily. I could cut one side, and I like to be able to do both. So fussy cutting, and again, I did not get too wild and crazy with the top, the ball at the top of the hat, but that would have been also a great place to have fussy cut something in there, depending on what you were looking at.
And one thing, Heidi, I think as you're talking about the squared and the mini rulers, all three rulers have different purposes. And when you are talking about fussy cutting, it's much easier to use the squared or the mini versus the XL. It can be done with the XL.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. You just have to work with it. Okay, so are we ready to talk about,
talk
just
about
one
what
more
you've
little
learned.
tip. Terry, when she writes her instructions, they're very thorough and they're very helpful. Lots of different instructions. But I wanted to just show you what I did because there comes a point, where my brain, I have to see what it is I'm doing. So I'm working on Lily's hat. Okay, and I'm gonna come around now to that side, Jamie. We're gonna just rotate here. So this is Lily's hat. This is my one hat that's completed, and it's got this unique angle, right? And so one of the things that she does, and this is where it's so important to read all of your instructions, and I know I put this stuff in here. There we go, with this block out, is first of all, let's talk about the background fabric. She very explicitly says, take your two background rectangles and put them wrong sides together, and then I'm going to cut from here down to here to get this unit. And let's see if hold on. No, or no, because I've already cut it. I've
Yeah.
taken the other half. See, this is where, because you cut 2 at a time, and I'm gonna just rotate it down here a little bit. You cut 2 at a time, so that then you end up with 2 sets, but does that make sense? But you're using one of each set because of the way you're cutting them. And so that's why she says put 2 together, versus if I cut 1, I'd be like, why are these 2 not fitting together, right? Okay, so that's one thing, is to be able to just really read the instructions and understand why you're doing that. The second part is, again, this angle, in order to get that, she uses diagrams, and I love it. I love all the diagrams to be able to do that. But again, okay, I at this point like to use the lines, and my block is a little on the short side. It's supposed to be 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I in the middle there, sort of?
You're good.
Am I okay? You move over just a little. And she talks about how you're going to measure, right? So here's where I like a piece of tape. And I do happen to have tape that is measuring tape at the moment.
Measuring tape.
Measuring tape. So I literally can line it up with the lines, and I can say I need to have it right here at 2.5, right? 1, 2, 2.5. Okay. You could use blue tape, green tape. You pick whatever colored tape you want.
And some little arrows, or
That's right.
that whatever makes it easier for
Yep,
you.
and I did it here. I'm doing it here, right? So I have that, and now that's 3 3/8 is the measurement that I come out from the other side. And I could not have to use a huge piece of tape, right? Because 1, 2, 3, I just really need to know where that 3/8 is. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. It's this one here. And then now when I made the block, and okay, it's real life, right? My block is too small, right? It's not as tall. Then it, that's the half. So 2.5, 3. It is, I gotta think about that a second. Half. I should have done the math before I did it. 2.5, 3, and 3/8. So it's really backwards this way. It's this one. Okay. So the thing this is real life, right? So I have to deal with, did I not press it out far enough? What are my seams? How am I going to adjust that, right? And I do like that there is a little wiggle room because of the way she trims this particular block.
Would it also be helpful to do this to make sure you did it right?
Yep. So 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, no more. I'm not over enough, am I? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. It's this guy. That's why. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, and the other thing I could do to check it is, let's take one that I've already cut. And I'm going to put him on top. And if I cut him here, see, he's going to end up there, 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 and there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So then I literally can, and I'm making an adjustment. I'll say I'm going to go half and half, wiggle it room there. I'm going to mark it up there. I'm going to mark it over here.
So you're literally, this is a place that you are using.
I am using my straight ruler because I've got to get that up there. I'm just adjusting, make sure it's right. And there I go that way. Pull him off. And then I'm going to go this way. And of course the clips on the...
Yeah. And it's hard to, we're on live.
Right. Okay, we're going to go this way. 1, 2. Got it. And now I have that unit. And so now it's just easy for me. I can take the next one and I can lay them down in there, and I don't have to, again, I can find the exact measurements that I want, and I can lay it down and I can cut it. So it's like I'm creating a template, if you want to say, that makes it super easy. You could do something like that and create a plastic template if it's easier for you to lay it down. But that's just one little tip. And of course, then I can pull the tape right off of the mat. No big deal.
One other thing. So again, make sure you're looking at your pattern. We know not all patterns are created equal, but when you look at it and you understand what you're going to do, before you cut them and sew them, right, Stacy?
Yeah.
That's right.
It is.
It's so important when they
Yeah.
say read all the instructions first. You really should,
Yeah.
because you never know if they're using a special technique or that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And all of this can be done. It just give yourself the time to make sure you're doing it
That's right.
correctly. And so, for instance, reviewing, cutting your background, your stripology rulers, cutting down into blocks. When you get into your hats, if you've done like you did and you cut all of it right away, or like I'm going to do each hat and cut each one of these individually because I'm using Cuddle as
That's
part
right.
of my piecing.
That's
So
right.
some different things you can do. One other thing we didn't talk about was somebody did ask about 45 or 60.
Yes.
When they're asking about that, they're referring to the size of the blade. Okay, if you
Yes.
didn't know that. So,
Yes, exactly.
and
then
those-
there's different handles.
Yep.
There's the straight handle. There's the ergonomic handle.
And so I'm going to show
there's-
you. This is the 60 millimeter. It's a little bit larger. Stacy's grabbing the two different
Yep.
sizes for us. And so here's
45.
a 45.
That's straight, and a 45 that's ergonomic.
And so we even have different preferences for what
yeah.
we like. So I personally like the ergonomic one because my blade automatically goes back.
Me too.
Okay, but Heidi,
I tend to like this, and I'm perfectly fine moving it in and out every time because we do not want to leave our blades
yes,
out
you
while
owe
we're
a
putting
quarter
our.
if you do.
That's right. That's
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all sorts of things that we've gone over today. Again, Jamie, and nice to have Stacy along with us too. I think we've got it covered today. Next week, we're going to be back with more piecing and talking about how we piece things. And in fact, I will leave one of my lily blocks unpieced, and we'll talk about how we're adding that triangle to this,
Yeah.
because I think that's a whole nother topic. So,
For
all
sure.
right.
Yep.
So
I
if you
think-
want to participate, again, you just need the hat hooray pattern wherever
Which
it
is
is. Oh,
very
it's in
similar
here.
here.
There we go. Hat hooray pattern. Of course, we sell it. Jamie will put it up on there again. You might already have it in your stash. We'd love to have you join along. Again, you can go to the website henandchickstudio.com/topitoff and read all about everything and see the videos that we've
And
done.
make sure you're joining our creative community over on Facebook if you're watching.
Oh, the inspiration
Oh my
over
gosh,
there is
yep.
fabulous.
And show what you're doing. If you're just joining us, pick out some or get feedback from other people. And hey, what do you like and what do you think is better? So we'd love to
Absolutely.
see you come on over there as well.
Absolutely. So until the next time we see you, have a